I don't wake up early because an alarm tells me to. I wake up because my dream is too loud to let me sleep. While the world is still lying in bed, I'm already at war. Not with people, but with the life I refuse to live. My hunger pulls me out of the dark. My purpose doesn't hit snooze, and my future keeps calling my name. Most people wake up asking what they have to do today. I wake up asking how close I can get to the dream that will change my life. While others are dreaming in their sleep, I am wide awake chasing the one that would make me unstoppable. I don't wake up because an alarm tells me to. I wake up because something inside me refuses. Stay quiet. My eyes open before the sun, not because my body is rested, but because my spirit is restless. There's a fire in me that doesn't let me sleep in. There's a dream that shakes me awake. Some people need noise to get out of bed. I need purpose. My passion wakes me up, and when it does, it reminds me that I was not born to live an average life. Most people wake up already tired, already defeated, already complaining. They check their phones before they check their goals. They let other people's lives distract them from building their own. But when you have real passion, you don't start your day with excuses. You start it with hunger. Hunger to be better than yesterday. Hunger to fix what's broken. Hunger to prove that the struggle did not win. That hunger pulls me out of bed even when my body wants to stay down. I have felt pain. I have been rejected. I have been ignored, doubted, and underestimated. But none of that broke me. It pointed me. Every disappointment pushed me closer to my purpose. Every failure whispered, "You're not done yet." My passion was born in my pain. It was building my struggle. And now that passion wakes me up every single day and says, get up. You still have work to do." I refuse to live a sleepwalking life. I refuse to wake up, go through the motions, and call it living. I refuse to be alive without being awake. Too many people exist but never truly live. They let fear decide their future. They let comfort steal their dreams. But I am not built for comfort. I am built for growth. My passion makes me uncomfortable, and that's how I know I'm moving forward. When you are passionate, sacrifice doesn't feel like punishment. It feels like purpose. I don't complain about long nights. I don't complain about early mornings. I don't complain about being tired, because I know what I'm tired for. I know what I'm building. I know what I'm becoming. I'm not missing out on life. I'm creating one. Excuses cannot survive where passion lives. When you want something bad enough, you don't ask how hard it is. You ask how fast you can start. You stop blaming your past. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. You stop letting fear make your decision. You just move. You move even when you're scared. You move even when you're unsure. You move because staying still hurts more than trying. I'm not chasing money. I'm chasing meaning. Now, I'm not chasing approval. I'm chasing impact. I want to just make a living. I want to make a difference. When I wake up, I don't think about how easy my day will be. I think about how powerful my purpose is. And that purpose gives me strength when motivation disappears. My past does not control me. My circumstances do not define me. My mistakes do not own me. My passion leads me. It reminds me that I didn't survive everything I went through just to stay small. It reminds me that I didn't come this far to stop here. Every morning is another chance to rise, to fight, to become more than I was yesterday. When my passion wakes me up, the world has no choice but to feel my presence. I don't move quietly. I don't dream small. I don't settle for less than what I know I'm capable of. Because when your passion wakes you up, you don't just get out of bed. You step into your destiny. I don't wake up because an alarm tells me to. I wake up because something inside me refuses to stay quiet. Before the light touches the window, before the noise of the world begins, there is already a voice in my chest telling me to get up. That voice isn't panic, it isn't fear, it isn't pressure, it is purpose. It is the deep knowing that my life has something to do today. That if I stay in bed, I'm not just resting, I'm delaying the person I am supposed to become. So I open my eyes, not because I'm fully rested, but because I'm fully driven. Most people let a ringtone decide when their day starts. They let a device, a screen, a vibration tell them it's time to move. But when you are truly passionate, you don't need technology to wake you up. Your vision does it for you. Your future pulls you out of sleep. Your dreams knock on your mind so loudly that staying in bed becomes impossible. It's not discipline that gets me moving in the morning. It's desire. It's the picture in my head of who I could be if I refused to quit. There was a time when I hated waking up. A time when mornings felt heavy. When the day ahead looked empty, boring, or painful. I would lie there thinking, oh, what's the point? That's what happens when you don't have something to live for. You wake up tired because you went to sleep without a dream. You drag your body out of bed because nothing is pulling your spirit forward. But the day I found something worth fighting for, everything changed. Suddenly mornings had meaning. Suddenly getting up was not a struggle, it was a privilege. People think motivation is about watching videos or reading quotes, but real motivation is internal. It comes from knowing that you were not created by accident, that your existence has purpose, that your talents are not random. When you understand that, sleep becomes lighter, rest becomes shorter. Not because you don't need it, but because your hunger is greater than your comfort. You start to feel like every extra minute in bed is a minute you're stealing from your destiny. My purpose doesn't whisper. It shouts. It reminds me of where I came from and where I am going. It shows me the gap between my current life and my potential life. And that gap hurts too much to ignore. So I get up, even when I'm tired, even when I'm sore, even when I feel unsure. Because I would rather be exhausted from trying than rested from quitting. Some mornings I wake up with doubts. I wake up with fears. I wake up with worries about whether I'm good enough, smart enough, strong enough. But even on those days, I still get up. Why? Because my purpose is bigger than my feelings. Feelings change. Passion stays. Emotions come and go. Vision remains. Some wait to feel ready. I get ready because I know what I'm aiming for. There is a dangerous comfort in sleeping too long. Not just physically, but mentally. When you stay asleep to your potential, you accept a life that is smaller than what you deserve. You accept excuses. You accept mediocrity. You accept less. But when purpose wakes you up, you start questioning everything. You ask, is this all there is? Am I really doing what I was born to do? And those questions don't let you relax until you start moving toward the answers. Now I wake up for a job. I wake up for a job, I wake up for a mission. I don't get out of bed to just survive another day. I get out of bed to build a future that my younger self would be proud of. I remember the version of me that once dreamed without limits. The kid who believed anything was possible. And I refused to let that kid down. So I get up again and again. Day after day, even when nobody is watching, even when nobody's clapping. There are people who hear snooze on their alarm 10 times. But what they're really snoozing is their potential. Every time they choose comfort over commitment, they push their dream further away. I refuse to do that. I refuse to keep pressing pause on the life I want. My passion won't let me. It keeps saying, now's the time. This is your moment. Move. You don't need a perfect plan to get out of bed. You need a powerful reason. When your reason is strong enough, your actions become unstoppable. You stop waiting for conditions to be right. You start creating the conditions yourself. You start waking up earlier, working harder, thinking bigger. Not because someone told you to, but because something inside you demands it. I know there will be hard days. I know there will be setbacks. I know there will be moments when progress feels slow. But I also know that staying in bed won't bring me any closer to the life I want. Only movement will. Only effort will. Only consistency will. And that's why my purpose doesn't let me sleep in. It knows that greatness is built in the hours when most people are still dreaming. Every morning is a reminder that I have another chance to improve, another chance to learn, another chance to grow, another chance to get closer to my goals. And I'm not going to waste that gift by lying still. I'm going to use it. I'm going to fight for it. I'm going to earn it. My alarm clock might ring, but it doesn't control me. My circumstances might be tough, but they don't define me. My past might be heavy, but it doesn't hold me down. What moves me is the future I see in my mind. What lifts me out of bed is the life I know I can create. That vision is louder than any excuse. That dream is stronger than any fear. So when the morning comes, I rise. Not because it's easy, not because it's comfortable, but because my purpose is calling and I refuse to ignore it. My passion wakes me up and every day I answer. Pain has a way of introducing you to yourself. It strips away the fake confidence, the borrowed beliefs, and the comfortable lies you tell just to survive another day. When everything is going well, you don't really ask who you are or why you are here. But when life hits you, when it knocks the air out of your chest, when it takes away something you thought you couldn't live without, that is when you start listening. That's when you start seeing. That is when you realize that what you went through was not sent to break you, it was sent to shape you. There were moments in my life when I thought the pain was unfair. I looked around and asked why it had to be me. Why did I have to grow up faster than others? Why did I have to struggle harder? Why did the doors keep closing when all I wanted was one to open? Over time, I learned something powerful. The struggle was not punishment. It was preparation. The tears were not weakness, they were training. Every setback was teaching me how to stand stronger when the real test arrived. Some people let pain make them bitter. Others let pain make them better. The difference is not what happens to you, it's how you interpret it. When you believe your suffering is meaningless, you collapse under its weight. But when you understand that your suffering is pointing you somewhere, you start walking with purpose. You start looking for the lesson instead of the excuse. You start asking, what is this trying to teach me? Instead of why is this happening to me? My pain pointed me toward my calling. It showed me what I care about. It showed me what I can't tolerate. It showed me what kind of person I refuse to be. When you go through something hard, it burns away what doesn't matter. Suddenly you stop chasing approval. You stop begging for validation. You stop living for other people's expectations. Pain has a way of making you honest with yourself. And that honesty is where purpose begins. There were days I wanted to quit, days I wanted to disappear. But even in those dark moments, something inside me refused to die. A small voice kept saying, this is not the end of your story. That voice was my passion being born. It was quiet at first, but it grew stronger every time I survived something I thought I would. You don't discover your strength when life is easy. You discover it when you are forced to keep going with nothing left. When your back is against the wall, there is no help coming. When you have to rely on something deeper than motivation, that's when you find out who you really are. That's when you realize that you are tougher than you thought, braver than you believed, and more capable than you ever imagined. Every scar on your life tells a story, not of what you lost, but of what you survived, not of how you failed, but of how you kept moving. People see the smile, the success, the confidence, but they don't see the nights you cried alone. They don't see the moments you almost gave up. They don't see the battles you fought in silence. But those battles are what built you. Those battles are what gave you the fire you carry today. Pain gave me clarity. It showed me that I don't want to live a small, safe, comfortable life. I want a meaningful one. I want a life that stands for something. I want a life that uses what I went through to help someone else get through it. When you turn your wounds into wisdom, you transform your past into power. You stop being a victim of what happened and start being a voice because of what happened. Some people try to forget their pain. They numb it. They hide from it. They pretend it didn't matter. But pain you don't face will always control you. The moment you have the courage to look at it, to feel it, to accept it, that's when it loses its power over you. That's when it becomes fuel instead of a chain. I no longer ask why I went through what I went through, I ask how I can use it. How can I let it make me stronger? How can I let it make me wiser? How can I let it make me more compassionate? Because everything I survived has given me something valuable. It gave me perspective. It gave me resilience. It gave me a story that can light the way for someone else who is still lost in the dark. Your struggle is not a sign that you are weak. It is a sign that you are being shaped for something greater. Diamonds are not formed in comfort. They are formed under pressure, and you are no different. The pressure you feel is not there to crush you. It is there to create something rare inside you. When I look back now, I don't see wasted years. I see training. I see preparation. I see the foundation being laid for the person I'm becoming. The nights I spent hurting taught me how to heal. The days I spent lost taught me how to find direction. The times I was rejected taught me how to believe in myself when nobody else would. You don't need to be ashamed of your past. You need to understand it. You don't need to hide your scars. You need to learn from them. They are proof that you survived. They are proof that you kept going when quitting would have been easier. They are proof that you are still here, still breathing, still capable of creating a new future. Your pain has already paid a price. Don't let it be for nothing. Use it. Let it drive you. Let it push you toward the life you were meant to live. Let it wake you up in the morning with a reminder that you didn't come this far to stop now. The things that hurt you the most often reveal what matters to you the most. They show you what you love. They show you what you value. They show you what you want to protect. And that is where passion lives. That is where purpose begins. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not damaged. You are being designed. Every tear, every failure, every disappointment was part of a process that is still working. Trust it. Keep going. Let your pain point you forward, not backward. Because one day you will look back at everything you survived and realize it was never meant to end. It was meant to introduce you to the strongest version of yourself. I refuse to live a life where my eyes are open, but my mind is asleep. I refuse to move through my days like a ghost existing but never truly alive. Too many people wake up every morning and immediately hand their life over to routine. They brush their teeth, check their phone, eat the same food, walk the same path, talk to the same people, and complain about the same problems. Years go by and nothing changes because they are not living. They are sleepwalking. I made a decision that I will not be one of them. A sleepwalking life is safe, predictable, and silent. It never asks questions. It never challenges comfort. It never risks looking foolish, but it also never touches greatness. When you live on autopilot, you don't feel the pain of failure, but you also don't feel the thrill of growth. You don't fall, but you also don't rise. You don't break, but you also don't become. And I would rather struggle towards something meaningful than drift comfortably toward nothing. Being awake means being aware. It means knowing what you want and being honest about what you're doing to get it. It means looking at your habits and asking, are these building me or burying me? Most people don't want to ask that question because the answer might force them to change. So they stay busy instead of being intentional. They fill their days with noise so they don't have to listen to their own dissatisfaction. I know what it feels like to wake up and already feel defeated. To feel like the day is something you have to survive instead of something you get to shape. But that feeling comes from living disconnected from your purpose. When you don't know why you are here, every task feels heavy. Every responsibility feels pointless. You move, but you don't feel alive while doing it. The moment I decided I wanted more for my life, everything started to feel different. I started to notice how many people around me were just going through the motions. They talked about dreams, but their actions were loyal to comfort. They said they wanted change, but they were afraid of being uncomfortable. They said they wanted more, but they kept choosing the familiar over the possible. Being awake means being uncomfortable on purpose. It means choosing growth over ease. It means pushing yourself when nobody is pushing you. When you are awake, you don't wait for permission. You don't wait for the perfect moment. You don't wait for everyone to agree with you. You move because something inside you is stronger than your fear of failure. A sleepwalking life is built on excuses. I'm not ready. Or maybe next year. Those words keep people stuck in the same place for decades. An awake life is built on decision. I will start. I will learn. I will try again. I will try again. That mindset creates movement, and movement creates momentum. I had to realize that nobody was coming to save me. Nobody was going to knock on my door and hand me my dream. If I wanted something different, I had to become someone different. That meant letting go of habits that kept me small. That meant walking away from people who were comfortable with my mediocrity. That meant facing my fear instead of pretending they weren't there. Being awake also means being honest about your potential, not in an arrogant way, but in a responsible way. When you know you are capable of more, staying the same becomes painful. You start to feel restless. You start to feel like something is missing. That restlessness is not a problem. It is a signal. It is telling you that you were not designed to settle. I look around and see so much talent trapped in fear. So many gifted people hiding behind excuses. So many powerful minds choosing safety over significant sin. Hurts to see. Because I know that could have been me. I could have stayed quiet. I could have stayed small. I could have stayed comfortable. but comfort was costing me my future. An awake life is not easy. It demands effort. It demands discipline. It demands that you face parts of yourself you would rather ignore. But it also gives you something priceless. It gives you the chance to become who you were meant to be. It gives you the satisfaction of knowing that you didn't waste your time here. I want to look back one day and realize I lived someone else's version of my life. I don't want to regret the risks I didn't take. I don't want to wonder who I could have been if I had just tried. I want to know that I gave everything I had to the life I was given. Being awake means being present in your own story. It means writing your days with intention instead of letting them write you. It means choosing to show up even when it's hard. It means choosing to care even when it hurts. It means choosing to grow even when it's uncomfortable. A sleepwalking life avoids pain, but it also avoids progress. An awake life embraces struggle because it knows that struggle is part of becoming. I'm not afraid of falling. I'm afraid of never trying. I'm not afraid of failing. I am afraid of living a life so safe that it never challenges me to become more. Every morning when I wake up, I remind myself that this day matters. Not because it will be perfect, but because it is another chance. Another chance to learn. Another chance to improve. Another chance to move closer to the person I want to be. I refuse to waste that chance by drifting through my hours without intention. I choose to live awake. I choose to feel deeply, to think boldly, to act courageously. I choose to be present in my struggle and proud of my efforts. I choose to fight for a life that means something to me. Because in the end, I don't want to just exist. I want to live. When you truly care about something, sacrifice stops feeling like loss and starts feeling like investment. You no longer ask, oh, what am I giving up? You start asking, what am I building? That shift changes everything. Most people only see what they have to lose. Comfort, sleep, fun, ease, but they don't see what they are gaining. They don't see the future that is quietly being constructed with every early morning, every late night, every hard choice. When passion is strong, you understand that what you are giving up today is buying you something far greater tomorrow. There was a time when I thought discipline was punishment. I thought working hard meant missing out. I thought staying focused meant being lonely. But then I realized something powerful. The people who look like they're missing out now are the ones who will have the most later. They are not avoiding life. They are preparing for it. They are not sacrificing joy. They are delaying it so they can enjoy it at a higher level. Passion teaches you that some pleasures are temporary, but progress is permanent. When your heart is connected to what you're doing, the long hours don't feel like torture, they feel like commitment. The early mornings don't feel like suffering. They feel like dedication. The nights when you are tired but still pushing forward don't feel pointless. They feel meaningful because you know every ounce of effort is moving you closer to the person you want to become. That knowledge makes all the difference. People who don't have passion will never understand this. They will look at your sacrifices and call you crazy. They will ask why you work so hard. They will tell you to relax, to slow down, to enjoy life. But what they don't see is that you are enjoying life. You are just enjoying it in a deeper way. You are enjoying the feeling of progress. You are enjoying the feeling of growth. You are enjoying the pride that comes from knowing you are not wasting your potential. Sacrifice becomes easy when your vision is clear. When you know where you are going, it becomes easier to say no to things that don't take you there. You start protecting your time. You start choosing rest over partying, focus over distraction, discipline over impulse. Not because you are boring, but because you are serious about your future. You realize that every yes to something unimportant is a no to something that truly matters. There will be days when it hurts. Days when you want to quit. Days when you feel like the work is too much and the results are too far away. But on those days, your passion reminds you why you started. It reminds you of the dream that kept you up at night. It reminds you of the life you promised yourself you would build. And that reminder gives you the strength to keep going even when everything inside you wants to stop. Sacrifice is not about being miserable. It is about being focused. It is about choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term pleasure. It is about trading what you want now for what you want most. That is what separates people who only talk about their dreams from people who actually achieve them. Every successful person you admire paid a price you didn't see. They missed parties. They lost sleep. They worked when they didn't feel like it. They kept going when nobody was watching. You see the results, but you don't always see the sacrifices behind them. Passion made those sacrifices feel worthwhile. Without passion, they would have quit long before the reward arrived. When you love what you are chasing, the struggle becomes part of the story you are proud to tell. You don't hide the hard parts. You honor them. You know that without the effort, the success would not taste as sweet. You know that without the struggle, the growth would not be as deep. Every drop of sweat, every moment of doubt, every hour of work becomes a chapter in the journey that is shaping you. You start to realize that comfort is expensive. It costs you your potential. It costs you the life you could have had if you were willing to push a little harder. Passion opens your eyes to that cost. It shows you that staying the same is not free. It comes with the price of regret. So you choose to sacrifice. You choose to work when others are resting. You choose to practice when others are playing. You choose to prepare when others are procrastinating. Not because you are obsessed, but because you are committed. You are committed to a vision that is bigger than your temporary feelings. Sacrifice also teaches you self-respect. Every time you choose the hard thing instead of the easy thing, you send yourself a message. I matter. My future matters. That builds confidence. That builds discipline. That builds a sense of identity rooted in effort, not excuses. Over time, what once felt difficult becomes normal. What once felt like a burden becomes a habit. You start to crave the work. You start to feel uncomfortable when you are not moving forward. Your passion rewires your mind. It turns effort into energy. It turns discipline into desire. One day you will look back at all the things you gave up and realize you didn't lose anything. You gained a life you are proud of. You gained a version of yourself that you respect. You gained a story that inspires others. And in that moment, every sacrifice will feel worth it. Excuses are the enemy of progress. They are the chains that hold you in place. The fog that blinds you from seeing your potential. The invisible barrier that separates where you are from where you could be. People make excuses because it's easier. It costs nothing to say, I'm too tired, or I don't have time, or I'll start tomorrow. But those words are deadly. Every excuse is a brick in the wall between you and the life you dream about. And the truth is, no one will remove that wall for you. No one can. It's yours to tear down. It is yours to demolish with action, persistence, and relentless refusal to settle. Excuses feel comfortable. They create the illusion that you are trying to win. In reality, you are hiding. They protect your ego from failure, but they also prevent growth. They make you feel safe in mediocrity. They let you pretend that the circumstances are stronger than your will. But life is not lived in the safety of excuses. Life is lived when you face the uncomfortable, when you push past the fear, when you act even when the odds are stacked against you. I know what it's like to make excuses. I know the voice in your head that whispers, I can't, or I'm not ready, or maybe someone else will handle it. I have listened to that voice, and I know how convincing it can be. But the moment I decided to stop listening to it, my life began to change. The moment I stopped giving excuses permission to run my days, I started moving forward. And that is what separates people who dream from people who achieve. The courage to act despite the excuses, the bravery to take responsibility for your own life, and the refusal to let your potential remain dormant. The excuses are seductive because they shift the blame. When you say, I don't have time, you make the world responsible for your results. When you say, I'm too tired, you make your body the master of your destiny. When you say, I'll do it later, you hand over your future to delay. And every day you accept that excuse is another day that slips away. You cannot outsource accountability. You cannot delegate responsibility. If you want results, you must claim them yourself. Every successful person you admire has faced challenges that could have been used as excuses. They have been tired, afraid, broke, rejected, and doubted. They have had doors closed in their faces, opportunities denied, and obstacles that seemed impossible. And yet, they moved. They acted. They refused to let circumstance define their potential. They knew that excuses are easy, but they are also deadly, and they refuse to let them dictate the course of their lives. Excuses are also dishonest. When you make an excuse, you are lying to yourself. You are pretending that your limitations are larger than your abilities. You are creating a story where you are powerless, when in reality, the power has always been inside you. Excuses are convenient lies that comfort the weak and delay the strong. And the moment you recognize them for what they are, you begin to reclaim your power. The reason excuses exist is simple. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of uncertainty. Excuses are the armor we wear to protect ourselves from the discomfort of taking action. But the armor that protects you also imprisons you. It keeps you from experiencing growth, from discovering what you are truly capable of, from fulfilling your destiny. The people who succeed are not without fear. They simply refuse to let it control them. They do not let excuses quiet their ambition. They act in spite of fear. When your desire to succeed is stronger than your desire to avoid discomfort, excuses lose their grip. When the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the comfort of inaction, excuses fade. When you realize that time is your most valuable currency and that every wasted moment is a lost opportunity, excuses cannot survive. And that is why the greatest achievers in history have consistently acted even when conditions were far from perfect. They understood that waiting for the perfect moment is nothing more than another excuse disguised as patience. Excuses also rob you of identity. When you justify inaction, you begin to believe you are powerless. You tell yourself, I am not capable, or I am too weak, or I am too weak, or I am unlucky. And over time, your mind accepts this narrative as truth. Your excuses create the person you see in the mirror. If you want a life of strength, influence, and fulfillment, you must stop feeding the story of helplessness. You must replace excuses with action, fear with courage, and doubt with relentless determination. Every morning you wake up is a choice. You can choose to stay in bed, let the world pass you by and blame your circumstances. Or you can choose to rise, to move, to confront every excuse that whispers in your ear, and to take control of your life. This choice is not easy. It is not glamorous. It is not glamorous. It is not comfortable. But it is the only way to create the life you are capable of. Excuses are temporary, but the consequences of them are permanent. Every action you take, every excuse you reject, every risk you embrace compounds over time. That is how empires are built, how leaders emerge, and how legacies are created. Excuses thrive on procrastination. They grow when you delay decisions and postpone action. The longer you wait, the more compelling they become. A single day of delay can spiral into weeks, months, or even years of unfulfilled potential. That is why urgency is crucial. When you embrace urgency, you starve excuses. You compel yourself to act. You do not wait for inspiration. You generate it through motion. The day you stop waiting is the day you begin to live. I have seen people with immense talent fail because they allowed excuses to run their lives. They could have changed their circumstances, transformed their mindset, and achieved greatness, but they didn't. They allowed the temporary discomfort of effort to outweigh the long-term joy of fulfillment. They allowed excuses to whisper, later in the end, later in the end, later never came. Excuses are silent killers of dreams. They do not make noise. They do not announce themselves. But over time, their effect is catastrophic. The antidote to excuses is responsibility. When you take full responsibility for your life, you recognize that no one else is responsible for your success. You are not waiting for permission, for opportunity, for luck. You are claiming your right to act. Responsibility is powerful because it transfers all authority from external circumstances to your own hand. When you realize that your life is the product of your choices, excuses lose meaning. You either take action or you accept stagnation. There is no middle ground. Action breeds confidence. Each time you reject an excuse and push forward, you prove to yourself that you are capable. You rewrite the story you tell yourself. You reinforce the belief that challenges exist to be overcome, not to deter you. That confidence compounds. The more you act, the stronger you become. The less room excuses have to grow. Action is the antidote to doubt, fear, and limitation. Excuses are seductive because they feel rational. They make sense in a moment. They protect you from discomfort. They soothe your ego. But comfort is the enemy of achievement. Growth is rarely comfortable. Progress is rarely easy. When you choose the path of action over the path of excuses, you step into discomfort willingly, knowing that the reward lies beyond it. That willingness separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. Success is the sum of small actions repeated consistently over time. Every time you resist an excuse, you take one step closer. Every time you choose responsibility over blame, you take another. Every time you confront fear rather than avoid it, you accelerate your growth. Excuses may slow you down, but action will always win in the long run. Your life is determined not by the obstacles you face, but by the choices you make when obstacles appear. One day, you will look back and see all the moments when excuses whispered in your ear. You will see the moments when you had a choice to act or to give in. And if you choose action, if you refuse to let excuses dictate your life, you will marvel at how far you've come. You will realize that every difficulty was surmountable, every challenge conquerable, and every barrier temporary. Excuses have no power over someone who is determined, disciplined, and relentless. Excuses cannot live in a mind committed to greatness. When your vision is clear, your purpose undeniable, and your desire unshakable, excuses are irrelevant. They are noise in the background of your mission. They are shadows that disappear when the light of your determination shines bright. The day you stop listening to excuses is the day you step fully into your potential. The day you claim the life you were meant to live. The day you stop being a spectator and start being a creator. Your life is a mirror of your choices. If you allow excuses to dominate, your reflection will be one of regret, frustration, and a what ifs. If you reject excuses, embrace responsibility, and act despite fear, your reflection will be one of strength, pride, and accomplishment. Excuses are optional, action is mandatory. The future is shaped not by circumstance, not by luck, but by your refusal to settle for less than you are capable of. There is no shortcut to excellence. There's no magic that will transport you from where you are to where you want to be without effort. Too many people are waiting for life to hand them a gift, a chance, a break, or an easy path to their dreams. They hope that someone else will do the work for them. They hope that fate will align in their favor. But the truth is, no one owes you success. No one will hand it to you. If you want to achieve greatness, you must be willing to work harder, longer, and smarter than anyone else. Excellence is not a goal. It is a habit. It is the result of consistent effort, repeated daily. Every small choice you make, every action you take compounds over time. Excellence is not built in a single day, a single week, or even a single year. It is built in the hours when no one is watching, in the moments you feel like quitting, in the decisions you make when you are tired, distracted, or unsure. That's when character is built. That is when champions are made. I know what it feels like to struggle. I know what it feels like to work and get nothing in return, to push and feel invisible, to give everything you have and see no results. I have been there. I've been tired, hungry, broken, and doubted. But the people who achieve greatness are not defined by their comfort. They are defined by their persistence. They are defined by their refusal to stop moving forward, even when the odds are stacked against them. Excellence requires sacrifice. It demands that you give up temporary pleasures for long-term gains. It demands that you prioritize what matters over what feels good. Every choice to watch TV, scroll social media, or stay in bed is a choice away from your potential. Every choice to get up, study, train, work, and push forward is a choice toward excellence. And the difference between ordinary people and extraordinary people is simply this. They consistently choose the latter even when it is hard. Discipline is the backbone of excellence. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. You cannot rely on feeling motivated every day. There were days when you wake up tired, uninspired, or discouraged. But discipline carries you through. Discipline is showing up even when you do not feel like it. Discipline is doing the work when nobody is watching. Discipline is committing to the process, even when the results are not immediate. Excellence also demands resilience. But resilience is not about avoiding failure. It's about learning from it. It's about standing up stronger each time you are knocked down. Every failure is an opportunity to grow, to refine your skills, to strengthen your mind. The path to excellence is littered with failures, but those failures are the building blocks of mastery. Many people give up because the process is uncomfortable. They want results without effort, success without struggle, recognition without sacrifice. But excellence is earned and not given. The world does not reward wishful thinking. It rewards action, consistency, and persistence. Those who are willing to do the work day after day are the ones who ultimately achieve more than they ever imagined. Excellence requires vision. You cannot strive for greatness without knowing what you are aiming for. If you do not have a clear picture of your destination, your efforts will be scattered and ineffective. Vision gives your actions purpose. It gives your sacrifices meaning. It is the fuel that keeps you going when motivation fades. Without vision, effort becomes meaningless. With vision, even the smallest action has the power to move mountains. The pursuit of excellence also requires humility. You must be willing to admit when you do not know, to seek help, to learn from others, and to embrace feedback. Pride and arrogance are enemies of growth. They blind you to your weaknesses, prevent learning, and stall progress. Humility opens the door to mastery. It allows you to study, practice, and improve without ego interfering with your process. Excellence is a journey, not a destination. It is not something you achieve once and then stop. It is a commitment to continual growth, improvement, and refinement. Every day is an opportunity to get better, to learn, to push harder, to become stronger. The moment you stop striving for excellence is the moment you start falling behind. Life does not wait. Your competition does not rest. The world moves forward whether you are prepared or not. Consistency compounds. Every small decision you make toward excellence adds up over time. Consistently showing up, consistently learning, consistently practicing, consistently pushing yourself beyond comfort. That is how greatness is built. One day, all those small, unseen efforts combine into a result so powerful that it feels like destiny. But the secret is that it was never destiny. It was discipline, sacrifice, resilience, and relentless action. Excellence also requires courage. To step out of your comfort zone, to courage, to step out of your comfort zone, to take risks, to face fear, and to do what others are unwilling to do. Most people settle because they are afraid. They are afraid of failure, judgment, and the unknown. But courage allows you to move forward despite fear. Courage allows you to embrace discomfort as a teacher, not a barrier. Courage allows you to act when others hesitate, and that is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. The path to excellence is lonely at times. There will be people who do not understand your sacrifices, who question your decisions, who mock your ambitions. That's okay. Their opinion does not matter. What matters is your commitment to your growth, your vision, and your purpose. You must be willing to walk alone, to endure criticism, to resist conformity, and to prioritize your own standards above all else. Excellence requires solitude because the path is not for the faint of heart. Excellence is not just about skill or talent. Talent is important, but it is often overvalued. What truly separates extraordinary people is effort, preparation, and mindset. You can be the most talented person in the room, but if you do not apply yourself, if you are inconsistent, if you let fear control your actions, talent is wasted. Effort, persistence, and determination are what turn potential into achievement. Gratitude is also a key part of excellence. Recognizing the opportunities you have, the people who support you, and the resources available to you fuels motivation and purpose. Excellence is not built in resentment or complaint. It is built in appreciation and focus. When you are grateful, you see possibilities instead of limitation. You see challenges as opportunities instead of obstacles. And gratitude keeps you moving when the journey feels difficult. Time is your most valuable asset. Excellence cannot be achieved without respecting time. Every minute wasted is a minute you will never get back. Every opportunity ignored is a moment lost forever. Those who achieve greatness understand that time is finite, and they guard it fiercely. They prioritize their actions, eliminate distractions, and dedicate themselves to what truly matters. Excellence is about making every second count. Your past is not your destiny. So many people allow their history, their failures, their mistakes, their circumstances to dictate the life they believe they can live. They let the voices of regret, guilt, and shame dominate their mind. They let the pain of what happened yesterday define what is possible today. But here is the truth that most people never understand. Your past does not control you unless you give it permission to. Your past is a teacher, not a master. Your past is a lesson, not a jailer. Your past is an experience, not an identity. Think about it. How many times have you said to yourself, I can't because of what happened before? How many times have you believed that a mistake you made, an opportunity you missed, or a circumstance beyond your control should define you forever? That is a lie. That is fear disguised as reality. That is the world trying to convince you that you are less than you are. Your past only has power over you if you allow it to. But when passion ignites inside you, it doesn't matter where you've been, it matters where you're going. I know what it feels like to be trapped by the past. I know the weight of mistakes, the regret of moments that you wish you could take back. I know what it feels like to be haunted by choices that seem small at the time, but left scars that last for years. I have felt the heaviness of missed chances and the sting of failure. But the people who succeed, the people who truly live, are the ones who refuse to let the past dictate their tomorrow. They understand that passion is stronger than regret, stronger than fear, stronger than the chains of history. Passion gives you freedom. When your fire is strong enough, it pulls you forward so fiercely that the past loses its grip. Your history becomes a reference point, a place to measure your growth, not a place to live. Your past may have shaped you, it may have challenged you, it may have tested you, but it does not determine the limits of your future. Every moment you spend focusing on regret is a moment stolen from the pursuit of your purpose. Passion reminds you that your future is not bound by yesterday. It is built by what you do today, right now. There is a story in every scar. Every wound you carry has something to teach you. Every failure you've experienced has a lesson to give. And when you allow yourself to listen, when you allow your passion to guide you, those lessons become the fuel that propels you forward. Your past stops being an anchor and starts being a springboard. The pain you once feared becomes the power you now command. That is the magic of living with purpose. That is what happens when you refuse to let the past dictate your potential. Too many people allow fear of failure to paralyze them. They say, I can't try because last time I failed, or I can't speak up because I was embarrassed before, or I can't chase my dream because I've already been rejected. But passion is louder than fear. Passion reminds you that your potential is not measured by your past performance, but by the intensity of your present pursuit. Passion says, your history does not define you. Your actions do. Passion forces you to rise every time you fall, to start over every time you stumble, and to push beyond the limits that fear and regret try to place on you. I want you to understand something crucial. Your past may influence you, but it does not control you. Influence is a tool. Control is a prison. You get to decide whether the events of your past dictate your decisions, limit your vision, and crush your confidence, or whether they teach you, strengthen you, and motivate you. When passion is your driver, it doesn't matter how many times you've been told a no, how many times you've been overlooked, or how many doors have closed in your face. You keep moving, you keep striving, you keep creating. The truth is, your past is unavoidable, but it is also irrelevant unless you make it relevant. The people who succeed are not those with perfect history, easy lives, or uninterrupted success. They are the people who decide that no matter what happened yesterday, today is their chance to act. They know that success is not about erasing the past. It's about leveraging it. Every hardship, every failure, every setback is raw material to build the life you want. And passion is the tool that transforms that raw material into power. I've seen people define themselves by their mistakes. They introduce themselves by their failures. They carry their shame like it is a trophy, and they use it as an excuse to stay small. And yet, right beside them are people who have been through far worse, who have faced rejection, poverty, heartbreak, and betrayal, and who now stand taller than anyone could have imagined. What separates them is not circumstance, it's mindset. What separates them is not talent, it's tenacity. What separates them is not luck, it's passion that refuses to allow the past to dictate the future. Passion rewrites your story. It says yesterday doesn't matter. What you do today does. It says, your history is not your identity. It says you are bigger than your setbacks, stronger than your struggles, and capable of more than you can imagine. Passion fuels persistence. Passion ignites resilience. Passion converts the weight of regret into the momentum of progress. It allows you to stand up in the morning with fire in your heart, even if your past was full of disappointment. Let me be very clear. Forgetting the past is not the answer. Ignoring your mistakes, pretending they didn't happen, or burying your memories does not free you. True freedom comes from understanding your past, learning from it, and then refusing to let it control you. Every scar, every misstep, every failure is a lesson waiting to be discovered. And when you combine those lessons with passion, you create unstoppable momentum. You create a force that no setback, no criticism, and no limitation can stop. Some of the most extraordinary people I know were defined not by the privilege of their beginnings, but by the fire that refused to be extinguished. They came from difficult pasts, harsh circumstances, and environments that told them they were not enough. But they made a choice. They would not allow history to dictate their destiny. They would let passion, purpose, and perseverance drive them forward. And that choice changed everything. Your past may have shaped you, but it does not define you. The moment you embrace that truth, everything changes. You stop apologizing for your history. You stop letting mistakes control your confidence. You stop giving power to regret. And you start taking ownership of your future. You begin to act with courage, to pursue your vision relentlessly, and to live a life fueled not by fear or shame, but by passion. Every time you feel doubt creeping in, every time you hear the voice that says, you can't because of your past, I want you to remember this. Your past does not control you. Your passion does. The intensity of your desire, the strength of your commitment, the refusal to quit, that is what drives success. That is what propels you forward when others stop. That is what allows you to break through barriers that once seemed insurmountable. And here's the beauty of it. Passion does not discriminate. It does not care how many mistakes you've made, how many doors have closed, or how many people have doubted you. Passion responds to action. Passion responds to consistency. Passion responds to courage. If you feed it with effort, focus, and determination, it grows. It transforms you. It lifts you above the weight of your past and propels you into a future defined by purpose, achievement, and fulfillment. Every single day you wake up, you are given a choice. Not a small choice, not a comfortable choice, but a powerful one. You can wake up and let life happen to you, or you can wake up and make life respond to you. Most people don't realize this because they wake up on autopilot. They wake up tired, distracted, already defeated before their feet touch the floor. They check their phone before they check their purpose. They listen to their excuses before they listen to their potential. When passion truly lives inside you, your mornings feel different. You don't wake up asking, what do I have to do today? You wake up asking, who do I need to become today? Passion doesn't just inspire you in big moments. It controls the small ones. It controls how you wake up, how you prepare, how you speak to yourself when nobody is watching. It controls whether you quit when things get uncomfortable or push harder when things get difficult. Passion turns ordinary days into training grounds. It makes discipline feel meaningful. It makes effort feel necessary. It makes consistency feel non-negotiable. When passion wakes you up, laziness doesn't stand a chance. There will be days when motivation is gone, days when you don't feel inspired, days when your energy is low and your confidence feels shaky. Passion is not about feeling excited every day. Passion is about commitment. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it. It's about doing the work when nobody is clapping, when nobody's encouraging you, when nobody even knows what you're building. That's where real growth happens. That's where real winners are made. Too many people wait for the perfect moment to start. They wait until they feel ready, They wait until conditions improve. They wait until fear disappears. But passion doesn't wait. Passion moves. Passion acts. Passion understands that clarity comes after action, not before it. You don't figure it all out and then start. You start and then you figure it out along the way. Every step forward teaches you something new about yourself. You have to understand this deeply. Nobody's coming to save you. No one is going to hand you your dream. No one is responsible for your growth except you. And that truth can either scare you or empower you. When passion wakes you up, it empowers you. It makes you realize that your future is in your hands, that your effort matters, that your choices matter, that what you do today is shaping who you will be tomorrow. There is something powerful about waking up with intention, about knowing that today is not random, about knowing that every action you take is either moving you closer to your goal or further away from it. Passion sharpens your awareness. It makes you more conscious of how you spend your time, who you surround yourself with, and what thoughts you allow to live in your mind. You stop wasting energy on things that don't matter. You stop entertaining distractions that drain you. You become protective of your purpose. People will not always understand your intensity. They will question your drive. They will say you're trying too hard, taking life too seriously. Let them talk. They are not living your dream. They are not carrying your vision. They are not feeling the fire that wakes you up in the morning and keeps you moving at night. You don't need their approval. You need progress. You need progress. Passion also forces you to confront yourself. It doesn't allow you to hide behind excuses. It doesn't allow you to blame your past, your environment, or other people forever. Passion demands ownership. It asks you hard questions. Are you really giving your best? Are you really disciplined? Or are you just interested? Are you really committed? Or are you only motivated when it's convenient? These questions are uncomfortable, but they are necessary. Growth lives on the other side of honesty. There will be moments when you fail, moments when things don't work out the way you planned, moments when you feel embarrassed, disappointed, or discouraged. Passion doesn't protect you from failure. It prepares you to rise after. It teaches you how to learn instead of quit, how to adjust instead of retreat, how to grow instead of giving up. Failure is not the opposite of success. Quitting is, and passion makes quitting unacceptable. One of the most dangerous things in life is wasted potential. Knowing deep down that you could have done more, been more, given more, but you did. Passion is what saves you from that regret. It keeps reminding you of what you're capable of. It keeps pushing you when comfort tries to pull you back. It keeps your standards high, even when nobody is watching. Your passion will not always be loud. Sometimes it will whisper. Sometimes it will show up as discipline instead of excitement. Sometimes it will show up as patience instead of speed. But it will always be there if you feed it. And you feed it with action, with consistency, with courage. Every time you choose effort over ease, your passion grows stronger. Every time you choose focus over distraction, your purpose becomes clearer. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to be willing to show up every day and give what you have. Some days that will be a lot. Some days it will feel like barely enough. But consistency beats intensity every time. Passion is not proven by what you do once. It's proven by what you do repeatedly. When you wake up driven by passion, your life begins to align. Your habits start matching your goals. Your actions start reflecting your values. Your confidence starts growing, not because of what you say, but because of what you do. You begin to trust yourself. And self-trust is powerful. It allows you to take risks. It allows you to step into uncertainty. It allows you to bet on yourself even when the odds are unclear. There's no greater feeling than knowing you gave your all. Not wondering what could have been. Not regretting the chances you didn't take. But standing firm in the knowledge that you showed up. You tried. You pushed. You grew. Passion gives you that peace. It gives you that pride. It gives you that inner satisfaction that no external reward can replace. So tomorrow morning, when you wake up, don't just wake up to survive the day. Wake up to attack it. Wake up with intention. Wake up with hunger. Wake up remembering why you started and where you're going. Let your passion be the first voice you listen to. Let it pull you out of bed. Let it guide your action. Let it define your stand. Because when passion wakes you up, excuses fall asleep. Fear loses its grip. Doubt gets quieter. And your future starts responding to the work you put in today. That is how lives are changed. That is how dreams are built. That is how ordinary people become unstoppable. Before you walk away from this moment, before the noise of the world rushes back in and distractions try to steal what you're feeling right now, I want you to sit with one truth. This speech doesn't end here. It begins with you. Words can light a fire, but only action keeps it burning. Motivation can move your heart, but only discipline moves your life. And passion, real passion, is not something you hear once and feel forever. It's something you choose every single day, especially on the days you don't feel like choosing it. You have listened to ideas about purpose, sacrifice, pain, discipline, the past, and passion not controlling you. But now comes the most important part. What you do next. Because inspiration without action is entertainment. And you were not meant to be entertained by your potential. You were meant to live it. At some point in your life, you will get tired. Not physically. Tired in your soul. Tired of excuses. tired of starting over, tired of explaining why you're not where you want to be. Tiredness is not weakness. That tiredness is a signal. It's your inner self telling you that you were made for more than surviving days that all look the same. And when that moment comes, passion must be louder than comfort. Understand this clearly. Nobody owes you success. Nobody owes you belief. Nobody owes you an opportunity. Life doesn't care about your intentions. It responds to your habits. It responds to what you do consistently, not what you promise occasionally. And that truth might feel heavy, but it's also freeing. Because if nobody owes you anything, then nobody can take your destiny away either. You may not control where you started. You may not control what happened to you. You may not control the doors that were closed in your face. But you absolutely control what you do with today. You control your effort. You control your response. You control whether you quit or keep pushing when it gets hard. And that control, when driven by passion, is unstoppable. There will be moments after today when doubt creeps back in. Moments when fear whispers that this fire won't last. Moments when your old habits try to pull you back into your old life. That's normal. Growth always feels uncomfortable. Change always feels lonely before it feels powerful. But remember this, the version of you that wants comfort will always argue with the version of you that wants greatness. And you must decide which one gets to win. Don't wait for confidence to start. Confidence is built through action. Don't wait for permission to chase your dream. Permission is earned through courage. Don't wait for the perfect time. Perfect times don't exist. Only committed people do. The future doesn't belong to the most talented. It belongs to the most consistent. One day, not today, not tomorrow, but one day, your life will slow down just enough for you to look back. And in that quiet moment, you will ask yourself a simple but powerful question. Did I give it everything I had? That answer will either bring you peace or regret. And the choices you make starting now will decide which one it is. You don't need to change everything at once. You just need to change one decision today. Wake up a little earlier, push a little hard, push a little hard. Say no to something that doesn't serve your future. Say yes to discipline. Say yes to growth. Say yes to becoming uncomfortable for a purpose that matters. Remember this? Passion is not loud every day. Some days it shows up as fire. Other days it shows up as faith. Some days it shows up as confidence. Other days it shows up as quiet consistency. But if you honor it, if you protect it, if you feed it with action, it will carry you through seasons you never thought you survived. You are not late. You are not late. You are not broken. You are not incapable. You are becoming. And becoming requires patience, persistence, and pain. So when you leave this moment, don't just feel motivated. Feel responsible. Responsible for your effort. Responsible for your growth. Responsible for the life you say you want. Let your passion wake you up when motivation sleeps. Let your discipline carry you when emotions fade. Let your purpose guide you when the path gets unclear. And if nobody has told you this today, hear it now. You are capable of more than you've shown so far. But only if you decide right now that quitting is no longer an option. That excuses no longer have a voice. That your past no longer defines you. That your passion will lead you forward. This is not the end of the speech. This is the beginning of your standard, the beginning of your work, the beginning of the life you keep saying you want. Go earn it. Before you walk away from this, before the energy fades and the routine of life tries to pull you back into old patterns, I want you to understand something deeply and clearly. This moment matters, not because of the words you heard, but because of the decision you make right now. Moments like this don't come often. Moments where your heart feels awake, where something inside you is stirred, where you can feel that quiet voice saying, I was made for more than this. That voice is not imagination. That voice is your passion reminding you who you are supposed to become. You don't need another speech after this. You don't need another video. You don't need another quote. What you need is courage. Courage to act when nobody is watching. Courage to stay disciplined when motivation disappears. Courage to keep going when results are slow and doubt gets loud. Because real change does not happen in dramatic moments. It happens in ordinary days where you choose effort over excuses again and again. There will be people who won't understand your growth. People who will feel uncomfortable when you stop living small. When you stop explaining yourself. When you stop settling. Don't let their confusion become your limitation. Not everyone is meant to go where you're going. Not everyone is meant to understand the hunger that keeps you awake at night and pulls you out of bed in the morning. Your journey is personal. Your passion is personal. Your passion is personal. Protect it. Understand this truth. Comfort is the enemy of everything you want. Comfort lies to you. It tells you that you have time. It tells you that tomorrow will be better. It tells you that one more excuse won't matter. But comfort is expensive. It costs you your growth, your confidence, and eventually your self-respect. Passion, on the other hand, demands effort, but it pays you back with pride, strength, and a life you don't have to escape from. You are going to struggle. Let's be honest about that. There will be days when you question yourself, days when you feel behind, days when you wonder if all the work is worth it. Those days are not signs to quit. They are signs that you are stretching beyond who you used to be. Growth always feels like pressure before it feels like power. And if you stay committed long enough, pressure turns into strength. Don't compare your beginning to someone else's middle. Don't measure your progress by someone else's timeline. Everyone you admire started where you are now, uncertain, imperfect, learning as they went. The difference is they didn't stop. They didn't wait to feel ready. They moved while they were afraid. They acted while they were unsure. And over time, that action turned into confidence. One day, your consistency will speak for you. One day, the work you did in silence will make noise. One day, people will ask how you did it, and they won't see the early mornings, the lonely nights, the sacrifices, the self-doubt you had to fight through. But you will know. And that knowledge will mean more than any applause. Remember this, discipline will take you places motivation never will. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is a decision. Passion fuels discipline. And discipline builds results. Results build belief. And belief changes everything. That is the cycle. That is how lives are transformed. If you ever feel like giving up, remind yourself why you started. Not the surface reason, the deep one. The reason that made you tired of staying the same. The reason that made you want more for yourself and for the people who look up to you. Let that reason ground you. Let it steady you. Let it push you forward when your energy is low. You are not chasing perfection. You are chasing progress. You are chasing progress. Small steps taken consistently will always beat big intents that never turn into action. Win the day, then win the next one. Stack those days, stack those efforts. That's how dreams stop being ideas and start becoming reality. And here's the most important part. Don't wait until you arrive to respect yourself. Respect yourself now for trying. Respect yourself for showing up. Respect yourself for refusing to quit. That self-respect will keep you moving when motivation fades. When you wake up tomorrow, life will not magically be easier, but you will be stronger if you choose to act. When challenges come, don't ask why it's hard. Ask who you're becoming through it. When fear shows up, don't run from it. Walk forward anyway. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's movement in spite of it. Let your passion wake you up when alarms fail. Let it remind you that you are capable of more effort than you've given so far. Let it push you to demand more from yourself than the world ever could. And when you feel tired, remember this. Tired means you're trying, and trying means you're alive. This journey will change you. It will strip away excuses. It will test your patience. It will reveal your weaknesses and then strengthen them. And when you finally look back, you won't remember the comfort you gave up. You'll remember the pride you gained. So don't walk away from this unchanged. Walk away committed. Committed to showing up. Committed to doing the work. Committed to becoming the person your passion has been calling you to be. This isn't the end. This is your line in the sand. From this point forward, you don't live by excuses. You live by standards. You don't wait to feel ready. You act with purpose. You don't let your past define you. You let your passion lead you. Now go, not motivated, not inspired, but decided.